We have reached out to Representative Ilhan Omar on multiple occasions, inviting her to testify and inviting and requesting documents that appeared in the trial exhibit of the U.S. versus Amy Bach. She has never responded to our multiple inquiries. The only tool left for us as a committee, if we want to get these documents, is to issue a subpoena. The vote is 5 in favor, 3 against. The motion fails and the subpoena will not be issued.
Well, that is not a win for transparency. The disgraced Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar has escaped accountability for now as Minnesota Democrats scrambled to save Omar from this one. They were voting to block the fraud committee subpoena in a completely partisan 5-3 vote yesterday on the day of her deadline to turn over documents related to the $250 million, that's $250 million fraud scandal that she was allegedly involved in. Now, we know that Omar won't get away with this on the federal level. So the question is, what is the next move to stop her in her tracks? And Alex, that's what I'll ask you.
Yeah, I know. What is the next move? So when you were talking, I jotted down a couple things. One, I think it looks so disrespectful to Minnesota taxpayers and voters to just ignore.
Well, that's somewhat of a theme in Minnesota.
Well, true. But like, just to ignore this. I mean, even if you're not going to comply, have some sort of, I guess, political statement put out. However, then the lawyer in me is thinking, I wonder if this is legal advice that she is receiving, not to comment, not to say anything, because the next path forward could be, from the U.S. Attorney's Office through the DOJ, which we know is investigating this.
And Dana, we've seen Ilhan Omar's records, to the extent that they exist, about her marriage being very weird, her finances making no sense. She's gone from impoverished to multimillionaire in the span of days sometimes.
I think it was the opposite.
I think, well, she's gone from...
30 million to, what, 18,000?
By this time next week, she'll be a millionaire again. You know what I mean? Like,
it could be married.
She should start some, like, crypto coin.
She might be married to her sister by next week. I mean, there's so much irregularity with her, and yet obviously you see here and you see elsewhere when she would talk about how it's all about the Benjamins, baby. The Democratic Party circles the wagons around Ilhan Omar all the time. Is there a downside to them for this?
I don't think that the average voter nationally is going to be thinking of themselves, thinking of this moment, oh, they denied the subpoena when they're voting in November. But I don't think that it's a great news cycle because, as a journalist, I'm in favor of transparency. I wish I could get my sources sometimes to face subpoenas. And so I think that if she has nothing to hide, then she should be happy to give this type of evidence. So you have to wonder, to Alex's point, whenever there's a investigation or, DOJ is not shy about going after people who have been critical of Trump, that if she says one cross word to that Minnesota legislator, then that's tough for DOJ to explain.
What do you make of the 5 Democrats voting against requiring her to produce the documents?
I think that it reflects this.
They're acting like Democrats.
No, I think that this reflects that these are state legislators, that they are worried that they will find themselves with political retribution and retaliation from someone. I don't even know these 5 Democrats' names, but everyone knows Ilhan Omar, and she has a network in Minnesota that they're concerned that they're kind of circling the wagons to prevent.
But you were just saying that voters don't know Ilhan Omar, so these people are afraid of the consequences from the person that they don't.
Personally and politically, but they're not thinking of voters.
It's very simple. They're acting like Democrats do. They cover for each other very well. Now, here's the mistake she's making. I'm not the lawyer, Alex. You're the lawyer. But you always want to go to the favorable venue. The state of Minnesota is very favorable for her. If she had a good story to tell, go tell your Democratic state reps and senators your story and get good media stories on top of it, and then that'll make Todd Blanche or anybody else who acts at DOJ look more partisan.
All right, hold on.
But the fact that she's doing nothing, she looks terrible.
I need the Virginia.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.